it here. I absolutely appreciate you. You're not just only welcome, you are wanted. Now, in the next upcoming days, you're going to have professionals that are giving you key insights as to how to really understand and receive some sort of coping mechanism or solutions to your current situation. Now, these are professionals that are currently given results, that are currently working with clients that have received successful results in dealing in these type of topic of issues. These interviews are provided to you, when feeling in your lows. What can I do? What is a method? What is a key insight that can serve me right now in this moment? So you can have it in your vault of healing, in your vault of how-tos, and really pull it forward to better serve you. So I will see you later on during these series in the upcoming days. Take care. Bye.
My name is Celivette Guerra. I am your host. Today, I welcome Dr. Deborah Vinall. She is a doctor of psychology. She is a licensed marriage and family therapist, as well as a certified EMDR and a brain spotting practitioner. Dr. Deborah specializes in helping individuals heal from traumatic life experiences and painful relationship dynamics. Dr. Deborah is the author of Gaslighting, a step-by-step recovery guide to heal from emotional abuse and build healthy relationships. She has spoken as a subject matter expert on human trafficking and domestic violence across Southern California. Dr. Deborah was awarded the Sandra Wilson Memorial Grant from the EMDR Research Foundation on the impact and treatment response received from survivors. And with that, I welcome Dr. Deborah. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you so much.
It's really a pleasure to have you here today, sharing your wisdom and guiding those ready to listen, ready to take action as to starting your healing process. As you first, what is emotional abuse?
Sure. Yeah. Well, emotional abuse is a pattern of behavior that undermines your self-confidence and your self-esteem through cruelty, verbal attacks, put downs, belittling, cursing at you, harmful comparisons, all that kind of that whole ball of wax. It often accompanies other forms of abuse. It may be from somebody who's dysregulated or out of control, or maybe very targeted in order to control you and maintain the upper hand. So it can happen in parent-child dynamics or domestic partnerships, or really any place there's a relationship or workplace or a community group as well.
Oh, clear to understand, and I appreciate you sharing that. And going forward with this subject, right, there's people interested in Thrive and Beyond their current toxic situation. What is gaslighting? Can you give us a definition as to what that looks like in a relationship?
Sure. Yeah, gaslighting is being talked about more and more lately, and it's getting a real handle on what it means, I think, is important. So gaslighting is a particularly insidious form of emotional abuse, where the abuser takes targeted aim at your own sense of sanity and your ability to trust your perceptions. So you might spot it in frequent comments like "you're crazy," "you're imagining things," it's all in your head, that kind of thing, and really just flatly denying what you have objectively perceived, heard, or seen, which invalidating your experience. Not like, well, you saw it this way, I saw it that way. They're right, you're wrong. What you know is true isn't true, and there's this kind of pattern of crazy lying that is so strong that you start to think as a rational, sane person, okay, I must be wrong. I must have remembered it wrong, because most healthy people are we can't conceive of why somebody would that insistently crazy lie. So then we take it on ourselves, and that's the pattern. So that gives the control back to the gaslighter, because if you can't even trust your own perception, you kind of split a wedge right through the middle of your own self, your own sense of self, and they've got that control back.
And it really does, as you're describing it, I can relate how even some of the clients that I've worked with, it chips away to their identity. It really creates that a stronger self inner critic. You're constantly criticizing yourself, and then those shoulda, coulda, woulda starts coming up, right? Those are very common, probably even can be considered as flags to having this type of mindset when being exposed to the gaslighting, would you say?
Yeah. And so then you also become disconnected from your intuition, which is really your inner wisdom. And you learn to ignore your own emotions as well.
And now what are steps we can take to start connecting with ourselves again? Because it seems that we disconnected at one point. So how can we connect with that part of us?
Well, the first thing is to get a handle on what it is so that you can recognize it when it's happening in your relationship. When you see it happening, you can name it for what it is. You've regained a little bit of that control back to yourself. So as you start to break free from that, recognizing this is a pattern of emotional abuse, this person is actually gaslighting, and call it out, then you start to, disconnect from that control. And you may have to go through a bit of a grief process, which is okay to let yourself do, to recognize that this relationship, number one, isn't what I hoped it would be, isn't what I even thought it was. So there's a loss there. And there's maybe even a loss of the sense of what I hoped this could become. As well as maybe what you've given up to be in this relationship, what else you might have been with. And so kind of allowing yourself to go through that process of coming to grips with reality then brings a sense of loss and sadness. So going through that. And then from there, beginning to rebuild yourself, beginning to get back in touch with your own sense of worthiness through acts of self-love and self-care. And that might also include reaching out to a therapist who can support you in that journey. Exploring maybe what caused you to gravitate to or be sucked into this relationship, what there was about that, and healing from that, and even helping you to let go of self-blame. Because we can really be.
Yes, I really like how you mentioned grieving process, because I think a lot of people aren't willing when we're going through the pain and the hurts. That's a big catalyst to the healing is be willing to go through the grieving process. And it's almost like we try to find a shortcut, to find a way around it. And that just really adds on to our pain, our hurt, our rejection pain, our, heartbreak pain. So I just wanted to mention that. And I really do love the fact that you mentioned self-care and self-love. And the only way we really get to that part is by allowing the grieving process. I think it's very crucial to look at that part.
Yeah. And if you've been in a relationship with somebody who's been gaslighting you, they've stripped away your ability to trust your own emotions and to validate your own needs. And so self-care is intentionally, almost rebelliously taking that back. When you feel a need for rest and you give yourself that rest, that's different from somebody who's like tells you you're just being lazy, or it's all in your head, or you don't really need what you think you need.
Yes. Gaining the trust back with oneself. Absolutely. And I know you already provided so many valuable nuggets. The following question was going to be, what is a helpful step we could take during our recovery process? And you mentioned a couple. Is there any one that you would add to that?
I think, finding a process that really helps you to reconnect to your body for a couple of reasons. One, because when we learn to disconnect from our intuition, we're often ignoring our felt sense and those signals, where our intuition, it can be very visceral gut sense, right? Something feels wrong, but we learn to ignore it because we're crazy, right? Yeah. So reconnecting to your body and learning to listen to the wisdom, learning to listen to the signals that you're getting. So a process like yoga can be really helpful, or really any kind of physical outlet, but staying mindfully tuned in to what's going on inside. Just checking in with yourself throughout the day. If something more active isn't available to you for whatever limitations you might have, just pausing, close your eyes, scan your body, feel right now. And just notice, don't even have to do anything about it. Like, are my shoulders kind of tense and tight? My stomach and not instead of head, just checking in. And then maybe even going a step further and responding to that. And so these little simple acts of mindfulness and awareness, you begin to reclaim yourself.
Asking yourself, what am I feeling right now in this moment? A couple of times a day is a great, huge step to reconnect with yourself and start that healing process. Now, you have this amazing book, right? Gaslighting, a step-by-step recovery guide to heal from emotional abuse and build healthy relationship. In there, you mentioned EMDR. Now, I'm sure a couple of the viewers might not know what this is, what the definition is. Can you give us some details and what the benefits are when we put this into practice?
Sure. EMDR stands for the really clunky name, eye movement desensitization and reprocessing. So it's a form of therapy that's been developed over about the last 40 years. And it has profound treatment outcomes, especially for trauma, but also for things like depression and anxiety. And so it can really be helpful for somebody who has gone through a toxic relationship. What it means, you're wondering probably, what is eye movement all about? So that there's different ways it's been adapted, but the traditional format starts with your eyes being stimulated, like either through fingers or a machine that for your eyes to be tracking back and forth. And what that's doing is it's activating both your left and right brain at the same time. So we're not just stuck in like a logical place or a creative place, but we're bringing all the wisdom of your mind together as you remember the experience, checking in also, like we were talking about, with what you're feeling in your body, that gut sense, and your feelings and your thoughts, your beliefs about yourself. So that pulls a little piece of traditional kind of like cognitive therapy, but holding all of this together while we do little sets of this eye movement stuff. And so it just powerfully reprocesses things that may have remained kind of locked away in different compartments in our mind. Like, I feel this way, I feel shame, but like I know I was being, manipulated, so I blame him, but I feel shame. And these parts are connecting. And so when we do this all-encompassing kind of holistic approach, it brings these parts together, helps to really to process together and move through. And there's really some profound felt changes that can come from that approach.
Wow, it sounds like you get a whole 360 view of an experience with the emotion and each side of your brain and how that was put into play during those moments, right? Those intricate moments.
Yeah, and the research with it has found that it provides treatment outcomes at 75% faster than traditional talk therapy, where we're just kind of analyzing situations. So that's can be really helpful for a lot of people.
For those who are looking to renew a relationship or maybe start a new relationship, what is a step they can take in the beginning process towards that direction?
Yeah, well, I am a big fan of journaling. I'd really encourage to spend some time kind of writing out what are some of the red flags that maybe you've learned through your lived experience, that wisdom you've gathered in the former relationship. What are some things that you maybe in retrospect see as red flags that you don't want again? And what do you want in a relationship? And what are some of those, I guess, did you say green flags? I don't know. What are the go signs, right? Yeah. So that you have kind of a clear mental image of what you're looking for, and you're more likely to recognize it when you see it. Some things I really encourage everybody to look for. The most important thing of a healthy relationship is equality. Somebody who treats you as an equal, holds you alongside rather than dragging you beneath or behind them. Somebody who respects you for who you are. And you don't have to be the same, but they delight in your differences then as well.
Yes, that is very, very important, to just appreciate the differences as well as what is common or shared beliefs. So that is very powerful. And I do appreciate you sharing that with us. Now,
I wanted to add one more thing, just coming to know and believe in your own worth. When you rely on somebody else to give it to you, it may never be enough. But if you really believe in your worth, then you're less likely to settle for less in somebody in a partnership or relationship, friendship, whatever it is that you find.
Yeah, because this can be applied not only in an intimate relationship. Obviously, it could be even with a friend, a coworker, or a family member, even your own adult child. If in that situation, this is a great practice to have and to look at, right? To really journal and see what's the views, what are the thoughts that are coming across, what is the pattern, what is serving you and what's no longer serving you, that maybe you can change a better, healthier thought pattern towards that particular relationship, right?
I think relationships that are ongoing, like perhaps you mentioned a parent-child relationship, where some people have situations where they just need to have a clean break and cut it off, and some are more complex, and there is a continuation of relationship with emotionally abusive aspects to it. And that's where it becomes super important to have solid boundaries within it. to decide what
Yes.
you can handle, what you want to or won't want to, and figure out what those boundaries are and how you're going to communicate them and enforce them when the other
Yes.
person tries to push them.
Yes. Boundaries is a deal breaker, and they can be subtly applied in small portions, and it'll increase the confidence, right? It'll connect you back to yourself as well. It has so many benefits.
Yeah.
I agree. And finally, if there was one more thing that you felt that the viewers really needed to know at this time that you felt the need to share with them, what would that be?
Just that you deserve to be loved. You're worthy of love, and don't settle for less.
Everything in a nutshell. Really, you really are worthy. You really are enough. You are whole just on your own. And, you know, it's okay to decide and choose what's good for you. And maybe something that you liked or loved or connected with before isn't necessarily something that you're connecting with now. And that's okay. I like that.
Absolutely.
Now, for those viewers that have appreciated all the information and wisdom that you're sharing here today, what would be the best method of contact for you?
Sure. Well, there's a couple options. You can go to my website, which is tamarcounseling.com. Of course, if you Google my name, you'll probably find it. Some links. You can also look me up on Instagram at dr.deborah.vinall.syd, P-S-Y-D. If you're interested in getting a copy of the book, you can, here's what it looks like. So you can find that on Amazon or barnesandnoble.com, Target, Walmart, anywhere that you normally buy books. Take a look at that, and perhaps that can be part of your journey as well.
Yes, yes. Keep it in that collection of healing, wisdom, and information that's available to you. So I really do appreciate your time, and I hope everyone enjoyed this interview today. And for those that would like to share your insights or your best takeaways, feel free to comment. And if you have any questions, feel free to add those there as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Deborah. It was a pleasure. Thank you for being with me here today.
Thank you.